What's going on, everybody? Generate Talent. Welcome back to the channel. What I'm going to be talking about today are 4 players I'm selling off at the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end position. And these are going to be names of shock value. You're going to be looking at your roster, excited about these guys. And I just think it's a window where these guys are a little bit too high. And I think this is a time to get off these guys and then maybe revisit them later when the value is a little bit more for our liking here. Here we go. First off, and I took over a couple orphans that had this guy on them. I had to get rid of him, okay? He's just too high right now. He's quarterback 9 overall in Fantasy Flock. It's just too high, right? PFF had him at 68 overall in PFF. That's 30th among 43 qualified quarterbacks. And the passing grade was 64.8, which was ranked 33rd at the position, which, if you don't know, the NFL doesn't even have 33 teams. So there are enough quarterbacks that were better passers last year to fill out all the teams. He's a rookie. We get it. He was pretty successful for the most part. A lot of his fantasy points came off the rushing game because no neighbors, so I get that his situation has definitely gotten better. And the Giants have the number 5 overall pick this year. So I could see people really having enough reasons to buy in on Jackson Dart. Had a great year last year in terms of fantasy. And people are really just projecting him to be the next big rushing quarterback that's going to fuel your fantasy team to build around. And especially in Superflex, yes, he'd be a great number 2 in Superflex. But this guy I'm moving off of, you could see on screen, he threw for 2,272 yards last year and 15 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. That's not what we're worried about. He threw for only about 162 yards a game on average, which is a problem. He just not someone I'm buying. He operated with an average depth of target of 8.8, but their offense did increase with threats, right? They have neighbors now. Isaiah Likely signed, which we could debate if that's going to be, better than Theo Johnson or much better than Theo Johnson. But as you could see, when it comes to Jackson Dart, on the ground was a majority of his production. Dart had 290 scramble yards. It also contributed to his injuries, but it equated to 9 rushing touchdowns. Do I think this guy's the next Lamar Jackson on the rushing side of things? I don't. I think he's also going to have to change his game after last year and how his kind of wild play style put him on the bench. So the rushing grade was 9th among 30 qualified quarterbacks. I'm going to kind of be bold here. This guy just reminds me of Daniel Jones right now, right? Daniel Jones had those, I think he had one top 10 fantasy quarterback season. We see it from Dart now. Now people are buying all the Dart they can, not really considering. I think he's going to have to change his game a little bit. His situation does get better getting neighbors back in. And Isaiah Likely possibly at the tight end position. The number 5 pick could be a big wide receiver prospect in Tate or Tyson maybe. But at the end of the day, I'm moving this guy. He's 9th overall in Superflex rankings for quarterback under Fantasy Flock. I would just, as I've mentioned before, I'd much rather take a Cam Ward and a big plus as opposed to Jackson Dart. I just think it's going to be very tough to uphold that 9th overall quarterback and staying healthy on the field if he's not going to change his game, right? Okay, Jackson Dart, I have enough haters from this video already, but I'm not quite done. I'm going to add a running back that every fantasy content creator, for whatever reason, they love this guy. I get it to a certain degree. It's Chase Brown of the Bengals. You got to keep in mind Burrow wasn't on the field about half the year, right? Chase Brown earned a 75 overall in PFF. I get that PFF doesn't equate to fantasy, right? His rushing, 22nd among 55 qualified backs, and then 23rd out of 55. So he's not a great rusher. Let's get that. Let's keep it funky, right? Let's keep it funky. He's not a great rusher. He carried the ball 230 times, 1,000 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns, average 4.4 yards on the ground. That's good. Is it going to be the feature back for many years to come? He's already 26. They're working on an extension. I'm just not buying that he's going to be a workhorse back. What am I looking for? A bell cow. Chase Brown is not that. I think because of necessity, the Bengals have needed that. And because of his lack of being that bell cow, you see Samaje Perine have like a successful couple years, and I don't think he's that great. So I think Chase Brown is highly overvalued. He's in the top 7 for running backs, and that's just insane. This is a guy that makes it off his receiving game, right? Joe Burrow is going to be back. The receiving core is going to be back. Are they going to be checking down Charlie as much as they did with Joe Flacco? I doubt it. Chase Brown's exciting, but what's to say the Bengals aren't going to go draft a running back that's going to give them some competition that could strengthen? Maybe Chase Brown becomes a third down back. He's elite on passing downs, but when it comes to running the ball, he's not that effective. He's very mid. He's very average. I think people see the receiving yards and forget about the rushing side of things. On first and second down, a lot of rushing plays. I think the Bengals are going to draft a running back that's going to compete with Brown, at least for the first and second down duties. Brown can have that third down role, still be effective, but if I'm taking him as dynasty running back 7, he's almost 20, well, he's 26 years old. He's almost 27 years old. I can't do it, man. If I'm relying on his receiving and the Bengals haven't drafted a running back in a while that's a real threat. I know Taj Brooks is back there. People are supporting him. I don't know if he's the answer. We're about to find out. But I just don't believe this is bell cow Chase Brown. That's what they're trying to make you drink here on the Kool-Aid. I'm not falling for it. I'm selling Chase Brown at that 7th overall running back rankings in Flock Fantasy. This is just a guy, it irks me because every creator has Chase Brown on their like steal list. Like, go get him right now. I just can't buy into that. You see some impressive things, everything mainly coming from the receiving side of the ball. As a receiver, he caught 69 passes on 86 targets for 430 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns. They just have a lot of mouths to feed in Cincinnati. If he does fall out of the workhorse role like he currently has, which I think he eventually will, if not this year, very soon, you're just going to see a dramatic drop-off. You're going to see more of a receiving back, and now you're not getting every carry there. It definitely changes the landscape. So if you want to bet that Chase Brown is that bell cow, this extension is going to be that kind of money, that Kenneth Walker and Kansas City money, then follow it if you like. I think this is an easy back out. I don't know why all the content creators are just going crazy for Chase Brown when he's really not that effective of a rusher. I get the receiving is going to help us in PPR, but if you're only on third down as a third down back, you can't be 7th overall. It's not going to happen. So I'm fading Chase Brown this year. Sell him off. Get rid of him. At the value. I'm not saying sell him off for Ramondre Stevenson. Okay? I'm selling get the value of the 7th overall running back. And let's see who we could parallel, right? If we have Chase Brown, who would we rather take? Because that's what I'd be asking if I was watching this video. Chase Brown is currently running back 11. I've been saying running back 7. He finished running back 7 last year. He's currently running back 11, but he's climbed 5 spots. He's now ahead of Breece Hall, Quinshon Judkins, and Christian McCaffrey. So I would prefer Breece Hall. I'd prefer Christian McCaffrey, who's currently below him. In the running back rankings, I'd also prefer Bucky Irving, Kenneth Walker, James Cook. I prefer all these guys over Chase Brown. So Chase Brown currently wide receiver. So currently, Chase Brown, running back 11 in fantasy flock. He finished 7th overall last year. A heavy emphasis on the receiving game. Not an effective rusher. I think the Bengals draft a running back and make his situation much more complex. All right. If you don't hate me yet, this next one's coming. I'm scared. I'm scary Gary, bro. I just am. When it comes to Rashee Rice, I'm scared shitless. I sold both my shares. Okay? It is what it is. I can't take the hit on my fantasy team. I sold him a little low. I got Ladd McConkey with Rashee Rice in a package I sent away, and I got Ladd McConkey. I trust Ladd McConkey. I think Mike McDaniel's going to get that offense humming. What I don't trust is Rashee Rice. The guy can't have an off season lately without something wild coming up. Now we have his baby mama, who's been with him forever, says she has a ton of evidence of domestic violence, of Rashee Rice choking her out, just history there. And it scares me because Rashee Rice got in that crash last year. That alone, I ate his 6 games last year. He produced on an elite level when he came back. But why is it that Rashee Rice never plays a full year? Even if he doesn't get suspended, he doesn't play a full year. So Already 26 years old, which is kind of surprising to me. He seems like he's younger than that, at least 26 when the season starts. I'm not convinced that he can give me a full year. I'm not convinced that if I'm in the fantasy playoffs, he's going to be available because he just can't keep his hands clean. I know the Chiefs love him. I know all the players wore the free Rashi shirts, and they're all in support, but are you really going to go to bat for him when all this domestic stuff comes out too? The NFL has a hard-on for getting guys on domestics too, as they should, okay? I'm okay with that. But I can't trust a receiver that has all this stuff coming out. It seems like he's a target. Also, he can't get out of his own way, even if other people were leaving him alone. It's a guy I'm getting out on. Like I said, I pretty much lateral moved for Ladd McConkey. I paid a little more over the top because of the risk. That's fine. I much rather have Ladd McConkey than Rashee Rice. Call me crazy. I'm selling all my Rashee shares. I'm out. I'm out, baby. I don't have any more. It's definitely a relief. And seeing with Puka's offseason too, I have no Puka shares. I'm finally comfortable. I don't have to sweat my two guys just yet. I used to have Jordan Addison every offseason. He does something too. So for me, it's about longevity, and I just can't trust these guys to be superstars for the longevity that I'm going to need them for. And if they are, okay, I'm okay with being wrong on Rashee Rice. As long as Ladd McConkey contributes as a top 15 receiver, it's really not going to change my season at all, right? When I look at this guy, I already ate the 6 games. Now I got more stuff to worry about coming out. I'm good, bro. I'm good. Here we go. At tight end, I don't like this guy if you've been watching long enough. I shouldn't say I don't like him, right? He's a good tight end. But the 12 touchdowns he put up last year, what are we doing here? This is a super outlier year. So here's Fly Eagles, right? Dallas Goedert has never topped 5 touchdowns in a season. Contract year, he had 11 touchdowns, not 12 last year. Okay, 11 touchdowns, which was setting a franchise record, plus added 2 more in the playoffs. So he was a demon getting in the end zone. Is it now just all of a sudden he knows how to get in the end zone at age 31? I'm not buying that. I think he's much more of that 3 or 4 touchdowns a year. He is the starting tight end as of right now. I think they have Calcaterra still behind him. I had a play where I thought, Johnny Wilson was going to get some run there if they let Goddard walk. They didn't let Goddard walk. So at age 31, they want to get better in offense. They're changing up the offense a little. There's a good chance A.J. Brown's leaving. I just don't see that equating to more Goddard. Goddard went crazy last year, earned a Pro Bowl, but ultimately, I'm just not buying that there's any substance to that season, right? It was definitely an outlier season. We had Dallas Goedert. Let's pull him up right now as well. Okay, Dallas Goedert, right? As for overall ranks, he was the 6th best tight end last year. That's pretty impressive. A lot of it on the backs of the touchdown rate, right? He almost averaged a touchdown a game, which is real crazy for a tight end. Currently tight end 16, by the way, in Fantasy Flock. I'm selling that too. In 2024, he was the 11th overall tight end, only played 10 games. But again, that touchdown rate was at 0.2, whereas last year was 0.7. 2024, 2023, 2022, they were all at 0.2 or 0.3. So this guy averages a touchdown 1 out of every 5 games on average, and he was scoring almost at a touchdown a game last year. There's definitely regression coming here. You don't get better when you're 31. I can pull up the tight end graphic if you need to see it again. A majority of tight ends, their heavy production comes between the ages of 25 and 30. Now Goddard's knocking on the door of 32 around the corner, right? On top of that, he never plays every game in the year. Tight end's a tough position. He played 15 games last year. The last time he played as many as 15 games comes all the way back in 2021. I just think this guy's an injury concern. I think there's a huge touchdown regression. I think he's being valued way too high. Goddard's the easiest sell on the list. Outside of Rashee, I don't like Rashee much. Man, it's just I've dealt with enough with him. I just like to clean my hands. I'm good. I don't have to worry about it anymore. If it doesn't work out, cool. If it does, great. You took the risk. You owned it. You get an extra couple little value points. Good man. I'm cool with Ladd there. So today, what we've accomplished, we've pretty much broken everyone's hearts. We want to get rid of Jackson Dart, Chase Brown, Rashee Rice, and Dallas Goedert at their current ADPs. Okay, with their ADPs, let's spread them out because I want to get a picture here. At their current ADPs, I think they're all sells. I think there's a lot of value in them because people are excited about these particular players. But when people are excited, that's the time to capitalize. You need to not fall for the hype. I know when I watch Jackson Dart, I'm excited too. But we got to realize he's throwing for 160 yards a game. Yeah, Neighbors probably brings that up to 200. But a 200-yard passer that's going to have to change his game where he's not going to be running all the time. Harbaugh is going to simplify the offense. Matt Nagy's there, who's not a great offensive coordinator. We're selling Jackson Dart off at quarterback 9. There's just more we could get in the quarterback 15 to 20 range with a big plus that's going to help us secure our playoff bid and possible championship, right? With the running back, Chase Brown gets it mainly off his receiving role. He's not very effective as a rusher, 23rd overall last year. With that, I think the Bengals draft a running back that's going to give him heat, whether it's Taj Brooks, who they took last year, or it's another running back in the 2026 class. I just don't think Brown's a bell cow. I know they're working on an extension, but I don't think Chase Brown's getting bell cow numbers where he can take all 3 carries like he has been on every 4 set of downs. Rashee Rice, easy fade for me. Elite talent, no doubt. I'm just sick and tired of having to hear about Rashee Rice in the media with negative stuff, and Goddard is just over, so just way too high, right? 11 touchdowns, I'm sorry. Let me cut that. Goddard, right, 11 touchdowns, never scored more than 5 touchdowns. He doesn't play every game. This last year he played 15 games, which was his highest since 2021. So injury prone, touchdown regression. I'm not big on the Eagles' offense. I know A.J. Brown's leaving. I'm pretty sure of that. And it sounds like it's going to be a better situation for Goddard, but I don't think that's going to quite equate to more touchdowns. Obviously not more than 11. I'll take the under on that every time. And then he doesn't provide any more as a top 5 tight end, right? Goddard's just a guy I want to sell, get off my team. The odds of him touching his last year's numbers is almost 0. He played about as good as you could play. He ended up in the end zone way more often than his usual career numbers. And just an easy sell for me. I like a lot of tight ends ahead of him. I'm tearing up to Kincaid. I'm tearing up to Pitts. I'm tearing up to pretty much almost everybody ahead of him, right? Even might tear down off Goddard. Let's find a tight end that I might take instead of Goddard. So Goddard's in the E tier. Dallas Goedert, T.J. Hawkinson, Njoku, Mark Andrews, and Terrence Ferguson. I'd much rather have Terrence Ferguson with the age and the Rams, even though they have 3 tight ends now. And I do think T.J. Hawkinson bounces back this year. So Hawkinson, you get a 28-year-old tight end. You can down tier off Goddard, get a plus with Hawkinson, and we think Hawkinson's going to be a big part of that offense with Kyler Murray. I actually really like Hawkinson. I'm trying to get him in my leagues. I know he's old. I play in tight end premium leagues. If Hawkinson's even half the guy he was 2 years ago, we're going to be knocking on that door for the championship again. So sneaky buy, Hawkinson. We're selling off Goddard for it. If you could do it straight up, I don't think you're hurt there either, but I'd like to get a plus always. So hope you enjoyed. These are my 4 at quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. These are the guys I'm getting rid of this year at their ADP. Okay, these are not guys I'm selling off for pennies. These are guys I'm getting value for back. If you want the exciting player, you go ahead. If you believe in that 11 touchdowns for Goddard, go ahead. If you think Chase Brown's going to be a bell cow back, I don't know why every creator thinks so. I would love to put up some chips on that. It's just not going to happen. And if you think Rashee Rice can stay out of trouble for the next 2 months, be my guest. I'm selling all 4 of these. Thanks for watching. Generate Talent. Peace.